Wendy, I guess the first thing your defense is tasked with is one of the better running backs in the country. What impresses you about Penny?
Obviously he's got really good size, speed combination, but his vision to go along with it. He's a patient runner, but when it's time to go, he puts his foot in the ground and he gets vertical, gets up the field, and obviously runs behind his pads. Physical runner, still very quick and elusive, quick feet. So it's going to be a great challenge, and to go along with it, every great runner, every great tailback has a good fullback, and he has that, and he has a good O-line in front of him, and obviously as a front for their offense, they're big, they're athletic, and they do a good job in the run game.
Even if he needs a breather too, I mean, the other guy they can bring in.
They got multiple backs, yeah, so they got other guys that are very similar to him that have, size, speed combinations as well, good burst. They do a good job of their vision and being patient while the fullback and the O-line are doing the work and the tight ends. And when it's time to go, they go. They hit the holes hard.
How often do you put on film of an opposing offense and see somebody still using a fullback the way they do?
Right. You know what? Not very often. Actually, in our league, in our conference, we see it. You see a wide variety of things, and you see it in our conference, but not very often. And they got a couple fullbacks that are good. So, as a fan of old school smash mouth football, you got to appreciate what they do. You got to appreciate, how they play and the physical nature of which they play.
Did you see the run that Penny had where he kind of bowled that dude over against
LV? Yeah.
What were your thoughts on that? And it seems like that was kind of representative of what.
Yeah, I mean that's not the only time he's done that. So, and he's done it against some pretty good teams. So we've got to do a great job preparing, to finish plays this week in practice. We got to practice the way, we would hope to play. So we got to obviously in controlled settings work on our tackling, and also do a great job in our team periods when we get those opportunities as well.
What do you think of the quarterback? They don't ask him to do a ton of crazy plays, but it just seems like he's kind of a solid, game manager type guy. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
Very efficient, yeah. I think he's very efficient. By nature, as we talked about, I mean, they run the ball and they run the ball well, but when it's time to pass the ball, I think he does a good job. He's got some good targets, some good wide receivers. The tight ends as wide receivers are very good. They got length, they can run, do a very good job running their routes and stuff, and obviously a combination of run, and here comes a play action, here comes a boot. You gotta do a great job with your eye control.
How do you feel like you guys have done against stopping the run so far this year?
Solid. I mean, like anything else, there's areas for improvement. It's never what you want it to be, but I think for the most part, at times we've done a pretty good job. There's areas that we've identified that we want to get better at, that we feel like we can get better at, and now there's areas where we have gotten better at, especially up front in the D-line. Those guys, Coach Caldwell and Latu did a good job last week, in building depth and getting some of those younger guys that maybe had their best game last week. Manny had probably his best game. Matt Locker stepped in there and did a good job for us last week. So just guys like that being able to build depth to be able to help us out, as we go through the season. And we just got to continue to do that.
Have offenses kind of keyed in on David on the front, because it does, obviously the production hasn't quite been there in terms of the sack numbers where it was this point last year.
There's definitely been teams this year that are sliding the protection to him, yeah. And, that's part of being a good player, right? And unfortunately, and those questions are going to come up. Why is this pro? Well, because he draws a lot of attention. And so we've got to do things, obviously, that if that's what they're going to do, then, we've got to adjust what we're doing off of it to get the numbers on the other side of the protection. And there's definitely been games where teams have adjusted to him.
You look at Alexander Madison last
yeah.
weekend. Coach Arson was saying that those 2-3 yard runs early all of a sudden turn into 7-8 yard runs a little bit later on and keep just at it. So San Diego State's obviously pretty good at that. How do you not let that happen, I guess? I
think you got to have depth, just like we're talking about. And we're going to go through it not only this week, but as we go through our conference, we're going to see teams that run the ball really, really well. I was looking, someone had given me some stats, and there's 4 teams in our conference that are top 25 rush, and San Diego State does a tremendous job, and they're number 4 in our conference, So, I mean, it's just, you got to be, sitting here, we talk about building depth and being able to get multiple guys in there to play, because, yes, if you don't, then you get wore down. Those 3-yard plays start to turn into 5. Then, boom, then there goes an explosive. And if you're not able to get ahead on the sticks and you're playing behind the whole time, and even when you do get to third downs, they're not third and manageable. They're not favorable situations. So that's a big effect. That's a great point.
Was it a matchup thing, or was it just because of how he's played? But Canijo obviously saw his most action of the year on defense, and it seems like he was out there doing some good things too.
Yeah.
What was it about that enabled him to play a lot against BYU?
He's really been consistent lately, just in practice and having a good feel and for what he's doing. And he's a young guy that has a lot of confidence. Not only when he's doing well, but if things go wrong, he's able to take a deep breath, self-correct, listen to what we need to do, and have the confidence to move on to the next play. It's unbelievable. It really is. I mean, he's really doing a great job. Obviously, you go back and look at the film, there's things that we need to correct and keep getting better at, but he was able to step in there and really do a great job and made some plays. He did make some plays. So there's another example of a young guy stepping up, and the coach is doing a good job of just developing guys, and we just got to continue to do that as we go along through the season.
I guess piggybacking off that, do you see some similarities between him and DeAndre as far as undersized at position and flying around?
Extremely high football IQ as well. Nick's exactly right. I mean, it's not always, the size of the dog, but the fight in him and how smart he is, and both those guys they're mentally tough. First off, they are extremely mentally tough. Both those guys. They're able to, like I said, adjust and adapt when things aren't going well, and a lot of times, guys like that, they self-correct and they're confident to move on and go handle the next play.
Avery Williams is starting and played, probably the most he's played at corner too. What have you seen out of him to give him that kind of responsibility?
Just very competitive, very competitive. And he's a guy that has been in the mix a little here and there. And ultimately, as we go throughout the season here, there's going to be guys that having depth is a good thing. Having depth, at times too, is a bad thing, because there's only 11 guys on the field at one time, and I know there's guys that want to get on the field and are competing to get on the field, and that's what we have. And ultimately, that turns out to be a good thing. And as long as guys are showing up and competing every single day and being consistent, we'll find something for them to do, because there's enough football to be played.
With Penny, last year some of the top running backs got hurt. You didn't end up getting a chance to play them, like Jamal Williams and some of those guys. And you didn't play Humphrey, the previous 2 years. How much do you guys like the challenge of getting to go up against one of the top players in the country?
Yeah, I mean, it's always that's why you do it. I mean, they've always had tremendous backs. Have done a good job with their offensive front and their overall operation of what they do in the run game, and it's a huge challenge for us. We've played good backs in this league. I mean, we've seen over the last few years, we've had some very, very good backs that have gone on to play in the NFL. We've had some really good backs here that we've seen and we faced every day in practice as well.
And you end up watching a lot of Pac-12 games just because of the time that they're on. It's become a huge issue this year with the targeting there, and I don't know if it's their officials are emphasizing it more, but it's getting called a lot, and people are starting to get a little riled up about it. As you've looked at it over the years, how do you kind of assess what that's done? I mean, has it made the impact in terms of what you're doing the way that they hoped it would, and you feel like it's being kind of called the right way?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think it's important for the game, and I think for a while there we got away with a little bit too much of trying to get ourselves on YouTube and the game going that direction, and all the big shots and all that, and we lost. The game lost a little bit of fundamentals, and I think with the new rules within the target zone, number one, it's a smarter way to play the game, and number two, it requires you to play with better fundamentals. And so for us overall, I mean, we're going to play fast and physical, and I think by nature everybody's going to do that too as well. But it's just about playing smart. It's about playing smart as well, and we obviously have been in situations that we've got to learn from and be smart about, and it's the direction the game's going. So, you just jump on, adapt, adjust, and get good at what the rules are, because they ain't gonna change for you. You know what I'm saying? There's not a lot you could do about it.